Now, there was a group, you know, when I was at 3KZ, they sort of changed the whole feel and look of summer. There's never been such an influential group like the Beach Boys, I suppose the Beatles to a degree, but really honed in on summer and surfing and beach parties and sand and living at the beach.
Exactly.
And they almost started the surf craze, certainly musically.
I'd say they did.
And, you know, living in Australia when we were surrounded by water, it just seemed natural to cotton on to the Beach Boys' lyrics, and their songs were so evocative of summer.
I guess you put your boogie board on the car rack and head to Point Leo.
Surfing USA.
One of the people I worked with 30 years ago on 3AW was Craig Willis, who would often come in and do the morning program in what we saw as Okanui shorts and hibiscus-coloured shirts. And he'd have the surfboard strapped to the Toyota, and he'd do the show, and then I'd say, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm hanging 5 down at Mentone." And he started a big interest in Latrobe Street.
Oh, he was radio's Midge Farrelly.
Hello, Midge Willis.
Oh, good evening, fellas. I'm just waxing the board as we speak.
You'd be sitting in the beanbag with a chop.
Correct. In fact, a lamb chop, Bruce, as you know.
Watching Get Smart.
Exactly.
What about holidays for you? You were a Sydney boy, weren't you?
Yeah, well, when I was a young man, we used to rent a house in Hudson Parade at Avalon Beach, but on the quiet side in Pittwater. It was owned by the Dominiello family, who had the fruit shop in Eastwood, where I grew up.
Isn't that lovely?
And it was just a marvellous spot. And I often, in the years gone by, Bruce, and you'd relate to this, and you too, Phil, why my parents didn't buy a house there, because now you couldn't buy one there for under about $4 million.
Of course.
But it was marvellous times. We used to go down. There was a submarine testing station, which is still there, and Lion Island. We used to go down there as youngsters and spend all day on the beach and have a Peter's ice cream at the end of the day and go home, and Mum would cook a chop, and we'd watch Get Smart and Black and White.
Well, nothing's changed in your life, but... So where was this place, this beach?
Avalon was where they film Home and Away, as you may be aware, but that's the surf beach. But if you turn left and head towards Pittwater, this was in Hudson Parade, and it's just a lovely little area. I learned to swim there at Miss Kay's swimming pool.
Oh, wonderful.
Wonderful time.
Is it very far...
Nelson Bay, north of Newcastle.
Is it very far out of Sydney?
Oh, Bruce, an hour at the most. An hour at the most. It was just lovely.
It's on the way to Palm Beach, isn't it?
But that was
south of Palm Beach. Phil, you're right.
That was the distance we used to travel, didn't we? We'd go to Frankston, and it would be an hour away.
Well, I remember also as a small child that we'd go to Bowral in the southern tablelands of New South Wales, and you used to have to go up Razorback Mountain, as it was called.
Yes.
And my father used to carry 3 gallons of water because the old Vanguard would boil about halfway up the hill. But you're right, you never went further than an hour and a half was a big trip.
Because of the cars, they didn't have the dependability of getting there and getting back.
Exactly, Bruce, and this is in the days, I think the first car that I can remember my parents having was a Vanguard.
Yes, we did too.
And it had the little yellow things that indicated that came out between the pillar between the front and rear door.
Yes. Now, being on the Pittwater, did you have your own boat?
No, but the people next door, he was a butcher from, how good's my memory, from Drummoyne. The boat was called Skylark, and their son was called Ken, and they used to take my sister and I out for boat rides, and it was just a wonderful thrill.
And did you go fishing as well?
We used to fish off the pier. We weren't supposed to because it was the submarine testing station.
Oh, gee, you'd have to be very careful up there.
Well, I think we had to sign the official secret thing before we were allowed to throw a line in.
And then after the beach, you'd race up to that Vanguard and get in the back of it, where those vinyl seats were just blood hot.
And we had to put the towels on the seats before we got in the car. And the other thing that I remember vividly as a child was the koalas that used to inhabit the area, and they were having, as Ross Stevenson would say, hushmakondi during the night. Yes.
I think you may have too.
I would doubt that. I was only 8.
Oh, that's lovely memories. Did you ever go to the Blue Mountains, or...?
Yes, we used to go to Blackheath, which is on the road to Katoomba. My grandparents used to rent a place up there in winter. And it was just, it's just funny how when Ken rang me and said, talk about your childhood holidays and all that, and it all came flooding back.
Oh, did you ever go down to Bulli Pass near Wollongong?
Yes, we used to go down to Gerringong and Geroa, which were beautiful, pristine beaches in those days. But actually, I'm speaking to you both tonight from Bruce's namesake place up here in the high country.
Oh, up in there. It's be beautiful up there now with that recent rains.
Magnificent. The grass, we've been gardening all day, and it was a lovely temperature, and tonight's got rather chilly. In fact, I've got the heater going.
Oh, yeah, lovely. Be lovely.
That's magnificent.
Yes.
Fellas, have a great Christmas to both of you.
Okay.
A terrific year for Bruce and Phil in 2011. And I shall look forward to catching up with you at the tennis, I'm sure, in January.
Oh, you will, yes.
In
Right.
2012.
That's the voice of AFL and tennis, Craig Willis. Lovely memories of his childhood holidays.